Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Retail Archaeology. In this episode we'll be exploring the Mercado de los Cielos in Desert Sky Mall, which is kind of a mall within a mall, and something that Mark and I found super interesting while we were checking out Desert Sky Mall. The name of this mall in English translates to Market of the Skies, which is a pretty cool name when you consider that it is basically just a giant market within Desert Sky Mall. And this is something I've never really seen before, at least not in the Phoenix area. This building used to be the Mervyns, which closed in 2008. And I'm not sure exactly when this opened up inside here, but it looks like it's been here for a while. And we were here early on a Sunday and it was already getting pretty busy, so definitely not a dead mall by any stretch of the imagination, but something I really wanted to show you guys because, like I said, we thought this was really cool. Now, I do want to apologize for the footage. This was filmed a while ago, and this was one of the first things I ever filmed using my camera glasses, and so I was still getting used to using them, and that's why it's kind of so jerky and shaky. But despite the footage not being the best, like I said, I wanted to show this to everyone because it's really interesting and I think a cool use of a empty anchor building inside a mall. There really was a wide variety of vendors in here. There were clothing vendors, electronics, art, cell phone repair, lots of barber shops and salons. It was really pretty amazing. Also, this market had its own food court as well, which we'll see in a little bit, and that was really cool. Jewelry vendors, of course. And you can see some of these booths actually get quite elaborate. Some of them have their own flooring, really nice lighted cases. There's a really large phone accessory vendor right there. What else was interesting too is that even though I know that this is a former Mervyn's that this is all in, it felt really big in here and it was actually kind of easy to get a little bit lost. You even find those gumball machines in here. There's a few custom t-shirt printing places too in here. So much stuff to look at though. We spent a lot of time in here and we had a lot of fun too. Now let's take a look at the food court because that looked, smelled, and sounded amazing. Dude, there's a food court in here. This is great.
Gotta go.
You can't do clowns.
Note to self, Mark is afraid of clowns. That's good to know. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, there was just so much interesting stuff to look at, and that food court smelt amazing. Unfortunately, we had already eaten because we didn't know that was in there. But I went back and read later on some articles in like Phoenix Magazine and stuff, and apparently the food in that food court is fantastic. It's all like home-style Mexican food and stuff, and is just amazing. So definitely need to get back there and try out the food for sure. If you haven't watched my video on Desert Sky Mall, I would highly recommend you check that video out. That was filmed on the same day as this video. And the reason we were at Desert Sky Mall is because a lot of people had said it was a dead or a dying mall, but they hadn't been there in a few years. And when we got there, we found that it no longer was a dead or a dying mall. It was actually flourishing, and it was really cool to see. And I have a feeling this use of an empty anchor that went empty in 2008 might be part of the reason why the mall itself is doing so well, because while we were in the mall, it was super busy. There were hardly any vacancies. Actually, it was insane how busy it was. Definitely go check out that video after this one, because I know I show a lot of dead and dying malls on here, but there are malls that are still thriving, and this is one of them. So right here is kind of the center point for the mall, and you can see how many different ways you can go from the center point, and that kind of gives you an idea of how massive this place is inside and how many different vendors there are and things to look at. Now unfortunately I haven't had a chance to make it back here again since we were here filming, because it is about an hour or so away from my house, but I really need to get back here. I think this video definitely proves that the idea of turning an empty anchor building into like a separate mall within a mall is definitely a good idea. It seemed to work here. If you enjoyed the music in this episode and want to find out more information on Sergio and the holograms, be sure to check out the links there, and I'll also have clickable versions of them down in the video description below. I've been listening to that cassette tape there pretty much non-stop in my truck for the last couple of weeks, so definitely go check out Sergio and the holograms. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/retailarchaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey, thanks for checking out my video about a mall within a mall that has a Spanish name that I have no business pronouncing. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out that video of the Dillards we also filmed while we were at Desert Sky Mall. And as always, thanks for watching.